So we're hearing for the first time from the astronauts whose space mission was just cut short. They returned to Earth from the International Space Station last week, you may remember, because one member needed medical help. It was NASA's first ever medical evacuation. And while they did not say what the health emergency was, astronaut Mike Fink said the experience left him feeling confident about the space program's future.
How we handled everything all the way through nominal operations to this unforeseen operations really bodes well for future exploration. We're a well-honed machine here at the Johnson Space Center and around the world. So when we're getting ready for Artemis, I am very optimistic.
We're joined now by CBS News space analyst Bill Harwood. Bill, good morning. Welcome, joining us from Florida. So we know they didn't get into the specifics about the medical emergency, but what did we learn about the evacuation?
Well, we learned that the procedures that Mike Fink was talking about really did work well. NASA has planned all along to be able to get a crew off the space station and back to Earth within a few hours in an emergency. But they said this was not an emergency. They took their time. They packed up their Crew Dragon. They did all the things they needed to do to wrap up their experiments and research, and then came home. We saw them in orbit. They looked healthy, all four of them. They looked healthy when they got back to Earth, and during this news briefing, they looked in good shape. So it's kind of a mystery as to what might have happened up there, although Fink did say that one of the things they had on board that helped is ultrasound equipment. Now, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not sure what sorts of things you can use ultrasound to diagnose, but that's the only clue we've gotten in all of this as to what sort of a problem they had up there.
I know the last time an ultrasound was used on me, it was to look at a muscle tear in my shoulder. So while we may think one thing, it could really be anything, but yeah, very interesting detail. Looking ahead, Bill, the massive rocket for the upcoming Artemis 2 mission was rolled out onto the launch pad last week. Just remind us what that mission will do.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. We have a live feed from our bureau out at the Kennedy Space Center that I can see here in my home. It's a magnificent sight. This is the most powerful rocket NASA has ever flown. It's the most powerful operational rocket in the world right now. And they're going to use that on its second flight. Their first flight was back in 2022. No one was on board. But for this flight, the SLS rocket is going to send 4 astronauts, 3 Americans, 1 Canadian, on a flight around the moon. They're going to loop around the moon and come back to a splashdown in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of California. And this flight is seen as a stepping stone to the Artemis 3 mission coming up in a few years. It will actually land astronauts on the moon. So it's a very big deal for NASA, I think, for the U.S. space program, and this oft-cited race with China to put people back on the moon.
So cool to see humans orbiting the moon for the first time in many decades. Bill Harwood, thank you so much, joining us from Florida.